mining has been regulated very well by Government of India. Where the Devta comes in Ma Sureswari Mandir.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Devta comes.
Devta, Devta comes in him, our time he used to drink blood, okay? And every state is now very controlled mining. It's no more that kind of illegality of mine when there was a time when everywhere in Goa, Karnataka, that, a lot of places, there are a lot of illegal mining which was happening.
Sambalpuri as a culture is so underrepresented in Odia cinema.
You want to talk, go and talk. You want to ride, go and ride. It doesn't matter.
Correct, sir.
Hey guys, welcome to Maverick Mindset with Samar Pratap Nayak, who happens to be me. In this podcast, we'll be interviewing change makers and thought leaders and hopefully learn from their experiences what it means to be one. We'll be trying to reach out to 1 crore plus viewers, impact, influence a lakh, and hopefully create 1,000 entrepreneurs in India by the year 2030. Is it an ambitious mission? Yes, it is. Am I crazy? I have been told so. Am I still gonna do it because I think that Indians have it in them to make this possible? I do, most absolutely. So, without much further ado, let's jump right in.
होगा तू मशहूर अपने 4 लोग में 5 मैं जो जोड़ लूं तो मात खाएगा तू जिंदगी की राह में सीधा चल रहा तो मोड़ एक आएगा तो खो ही जाएगा मैं टेढ़े मेढ़े रास्तों का एक राही तू पूछते पता तेरे ही पास आएगा.
आपको एपिसोड के प्रीव्यू से पता चल चुका होगा what are the subjects or topics we're going to tackle today. Today we have with us none other than Padma Shri, Mr. Nila Madhab Panda, who is a very famous and a very celebrated filmmaker who has represented Odia and Indian cinema in its true essence, even on a global platform. So this is for all the enterprising filmmaker out there. Hopefully, we all have something to take away from this. See you on the other side.
I am not good with starting questions or starting an interaction. When I was coming here, I was wondering what's the first question I'll ask. Will it be something, a huge impactful question, or will it be something very trivial? Ke, sir, what did you have for breakfast today?
Yeah.
What did you have for, we are not going to start on a grand note, okay? What did you have for breakfast?
I knew that you're quite a chalu cheese, So you always try to bring that when we have conversation also earlier.
Yeah.
So I went for running with a little bit of rain. I went to the gym and I said, like, typically morning you realize that okay, I want to continue my detox. This time when I come home,
Okay.
I'm not going to touch those elements
Okay.
which I should not,
Okay.
which will have fat, oil, this, that.
Okay.
So I went to the restaurant thinking I'll have a glass of juice, fruits, and some boiled egg.
Oh,
So थोड़ा health conscious तो बनना पड़ता है.
oh.
And suddenly, आंखों के सामने समोसा नाच रहा है. Then side में घुगनी. And then you start smelling bora.
Oh.
I said, hell to this. I went and grabbed one full plate. You know how we eat.
Yes.
Ghuguni, bora, singada.
Oh.
Nothing can beat that in life. So, the common factor they say, no, you can't take a Odia out of you,
Yes.
So you can live anywhere, but the Odia food is such that, Guguni, Bora, mutton, matcha, you can't live without it.
You've been traveling a lot.
Yeah, I mean, for 20 years, I think all over the world, almost like, I travel 25 days a month if I'm not shooting.
25 days a month.
I live in 3
Vagabond,
cities.
vagabond life.
Yeah, I live in 3 cities, Bombay, Delhi, Bhubaneswar, and I travel all the time.
Okay. What do you have to say to that kid in the village in Sonpur who came, Sonpur? So, did you ever think that the person you're today, he would be this person?
I guess so, because I remember when I go back and see what I was like, because, sometimes in the troubled times, you take out, in your memory, you push it down so that you don't bring back. But those pain, in those time, still gives you a lot of kick, lot of energy. So when I go back to that time, the tiny child in Dasrajpur, the Sonpur is still was like a big city for us, where I belong to, okay? And there was I believe that, there was a strong factors which I was. With kids, I was a hero, telling stories. Okay, looking after yourself, looking good, running, jumping, daring, during monsoon. I'm a monsoon child, During monsoon, I jumped into the river, which nobody would dare to. So I had explored all that. And probably that exploration is reflecting today. It's not a career success or big cinemas or awards or anything. What made me happy today is, I think those small stories just flourish now. Nothing bigger than that.
Correct, correct. You mentioned a very interesting thing. I was one of my favorite books. So I am into investing, a little bit into trading, stock market trading and investment. One of my favorite books to pick up is psychology, the psychology of trading. So I read something very interesting. Is that there is one common factor a lot of successful people have. Is that they all have very bad childhood, very traumatic childhood, or a childhood that they're trying to compensate for with their success. It's a manner of running away from a very bad childhood that makes you very competitive. So, is there an aspect of that in your childhood? Is there any trauma that you're running from?
Yeah, the word competitive is not there, because competitive you can have a lot of metaphor. So competitive in what sense? There are people who wanted to be rich and do things, but one common factor for these, troubled childhood or coming from humble background has one thing we grew up with, which is something called responsibility. So that becomes a bigger factor. I'm an artist. Generally people say the artists are selfish. Okay. But
Self-centered.
self-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is in a way, because it's a very personal journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not an easy journey. It's a very painful personal journey. Imagine when you write about a story about pain, murder. It's not an easy thing, and it's a soulfully your journey. You created that. Nobody is responsible for that. But here I have a mixed baggage. The kind of, so family, village I come from, I feel responsible for everyone. From my brothers, sisters, to the village, to the district, to Odisha. So I keep coming back. So that competitive words is this, that I always wanted to come back. I always wanted to come and see. Otherwise, I'd flown. I'd gone to Delhi, I've gone to Mumbai, I'd gone to London, I'd gone to LA. But I keep coming back. Like those migratory birds, they come back home.
Like
I,
olive ridley turtles.
yeah, turtles. So we are those actually
Yes,
turtles
we
that
are
you
turtles.
have to come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
what becomes is like, if you read my book, Return to Innocence, I'd put one story about my mother. My mother was schizophrenic, okay? I used to go search her in different villages. Nobody else would go from the family because it's very embarrassing for them, okay? So when I talk about that today, from that trauma, I felt from child I become a man who is responsible for your people. So I keep doing that apart from being an artist, which is how also it's a very, my kind of stories are very responsible stories. Okay, which resolves two problems. One, you entertain, at the same time you give something. When you go back home, you think about it.
Correct, sir. Sir, I feel that I'm a huge believer in destiny. The more I talk to you, the more I realize that I'm right to believe in destiny. What I mean by that is, when you mentioned about your mother, that she was suffering from schizophrenia. Will you believe it if I told you that my mother was also suffering from schizophrenia? I have struggled with a schizophrenic mother for almost 12 years of my life. To the point, in fact, what makes me a good salesman, I'm good with psychology, because for 12 years of my life, I wondered what is going inside my mother's brain. Because she was seeing things that weren't there. She was hearing people. She was smelling things. It was very confusing for a child. So the reason why I asked you, what trauma are you running from? Because there is a lot of trauma I'm running from. And I'm sure that there is a lot of trauma you're running from. That's why you're compensating by doing what you're doing. I'm not saying that you're competitive, you're doing it for profit, right? So,
Yeah, you become father to your mother at
yeah,
that
yeah,
age.
yeah,
I think
yeah, yeah.
the the good part is you become stronger, you become responsible, you become actually somebody who can give a lot. So I believe giving is something, a wonderful thing. God has created this world. I feel nothing can be better than giving. I don't know. I always believe that when you give somebody, when you support somebody, when you do something, that's a great satisfaction you get.
Correct, correct, correct. What's your take on mental health? This is something that I had not planned, but what's your take on mental health?
Well, I think that's the part I have written, that till today, forget about the women, even men's mental health. I think it's like you have cancer, you have leprosy, you have other disease. I don't know why we don't talk about it, because I've seen in my family that a lot of people have gone through that. Families in trouble, today, that's one part which is past. But today, let's talk about it. I'll give you a small example. Post cyclone in 2001, way back, 22 years back, I went, it was one of my first documentary on post disaster, 2 years after super cyclone. You know what? Government was building roads, construction, it was called hope again. You know what I found the most disastrous part? Since then, I started working strongly on environment. The mental health, the fear is much more today than ever because of natural disaster. Imagine 4 districts, the water came, swept away people. The people who are living within extreme mental health condition. They feel every now and then the sea will come and go.
You show that aspect in Kaliratita.
That's exactly.
Yes.
So that guy was schizophrenic because of disaster.
Yes, yes. That's
So people say economical effect, development effect. Who is talking about mental health?
yeah.
Imagine in Bombay, when Mumbai rain happened for 2 years, every rain, whole city people were in fear. From that to the complicated things today. So why mental health? When this mental health condition was bad, also there was family. So we were from the village, we become joint family. I grew up in a joint family. Joint family to nuclear family.
25 people.
25, 30 people.
Okay.
Joint family to nuclear family to you to today, you are not you. You are dictated by somebody else because you have a great instrument.
Yes.
Your 7 hours, whatever 7 hours dictation is done by somebody else. It's no more you. Somebody is telling you what to see and what not to, and what to eat and what not to.
Algorithm, it mimics you. It mimics
Simple.
you. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, AI, but I'm sorry, but we all have to grow with these, but somewhere we have to find a balance.
Do you think that responsibility is on technology or on the person?
Well, it's always about the person. Okay, technology. As human, we keep growing from farming or land to taking out soil from the land and making steel, to making steel to flying to moon.
Yeah.
We got to grow as human. There is no stoppage. I'm never against development. If I go against development, that mining nahi hona chahiye, how do I wear a watch? How do I live in this hotel?
Correct.
It's all about digging out something from the soil.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean, all I meant to say that we have to find a human balance. Look at Japan today. I was recently, last month, I was visiting Kyoto and Osaka. I feel loveless. What is the most important thing in life? To feel loved or to love someone. Friends, girlfriend, wife, father, mother, anything. Suddenly you feel that, oh, there are humans walking, but you feel like they're robots. There is no connection, no love. So सरकार अभी जापान में प्रमोट कर रहा है मोहब्बत. ठीक है, तो मोहब्बत इसलिए क्योंकि वो इतने सैचुरेटेड हो गया इंसान कि भैया प्यार नहीं है.
So disconnected.
खरीदोगे,
Correct.
बनाओगे.
Correct. But biochemistry भी तो है. Love is biochemistry.
So that is somehow suppressed. You have to blossom that love.
Hanji.
Like here till
Hanji.
I find whenever I come Bhubaneswar, let me tell you,
Yeah.
I feel this is the most romantic place on earth.
Acha, why?
I'll tell you one example.
Bhubaneswar or Odisha?
Odisha overall, but I don't know. I have an intense, very passionate, strong love for this city. I don't know why. Okay, Bhubaneswar. It's like get out of the airport, fast breathing itself is so calming. You know what I love the most? It's like I would promote this personally also. one city where I come out in the morning and run. I can run continuously for 3 hours, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, because it's so much of energy the air gives you, the city gives you. I don't know how long it can stay on, but I wish that virginity of this great city should stay. This gives that calmness, the love, the romance. Winter is the fab.
Yeah.
Anybody, I always say that please don't treat that I belong to Odisha, that's why I'm promoting Bhubaneswar, but come and visit once. And any friend who have come here, they say the same thing
They're
what I
shocked.
say.
They're shocked because they don't expect the green covering. They don't expect
Exactly.
the roads. And उनके जहन में एक illusion है about Odisha, about Bhubaneswar, which is the same illusion Westerners have about India, right? When Westerners think about India, we're like, oh, we're underdeveloped place and slums
हाँ,
everywhere.
गाय होंगे रास्ते
हाँ, गाय
में,
होंगे रास्ते में.
हाथी आएगा.
Only when they come, they realize, okay, this is what the media has fed us.
Yeah.
Right? This is the narrative that the media has fed us, and we have been prey to that. But before we explore this, I'll come back to that point, which is about love. Right? What's your relationship with love? And talk about your initial understanding of love. Your girlfriends, if you want to, if you're comfortable. I can't force you, but that is something that a lot of young people will be interested in. That what's your take on love? And when you were dating, were you a popular guy in college, and were you like a player, or were you like a pita hua ashik, as they put it?
No, I think I was pretty, more than looking like a very strong man,
Yeah.
but I'm known as emotionally very weak. Okay,
Okay.
and that weak doesn't. I find that's the strength when people find you weak, that you're still innocent. I mean, after crossing 45 also today, one thing I'm happy about myself much later. Earlier, I used to see and read books and talk to friends that, guys, I'm very weak. Yeah, I cry. I said, now I feel it seems like if you're crying and you're weak, it's the best thing you still have
Correct.
because it's non transactional.
Correct.
So, whether my friends, family, or anybody, I still have that my love and relationship are non-transactional because I don't expect anything back. I failed. I've still, it's not something you can find so easily. Why? Okay? Because relationship comes from the core of your soul. Okay? If you get married to somebody, you're dating somebody, because I've never been somebody who was like casual relationship. मेरे दोस्त यार हमेशा बोलते थे यार हर जगह सीरियस हो जाता है तू. सो दिस इज द कॉमन थिंग आई गेट टू हियर फ्रॉम. यही तो नहीं होनी चाहिए. तुमको चाहे 24 घंटे में भी मोहब्बत हो सकता है. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम इन दैट?
I'll come to a little boring aspect of our conversation. You get a lot of ill repute of being an activist than a filmmaker. My take on that is that you're not an activist. You're a brilliant filmmaker. A filmmaker that should be celebrated as a son of the land. Because how many people have gone out of Odisha and made a name for themselves legitimately, right? Hack, yours is not a hack, right?
Yeah.
You have actually put in the work over many years. So, do you feel that you being labeled as an activist takes away from the merit or the work that you have put in? Is it a like ऐसे गाली की तरह लगता है क्या when people call you an activist?
इसमें दो पहलू है.
ठीक है.
दुख तो लगता है. ठीक है. दुख इसलिए लगता है कि भैया मैं कहानी खोर हूं.
ठीक.
मैं कहानी इधर किताब में बोलता हूँ या मुंह में बोलता हूँ. जैसे ये अभी बात कर रहे हैं, हम कहानी बोल रहा हूँ. यहाँ पे ये आओ, यहाँ पे हुआ, प्यार को ऐसे देखता हूँ मैं. आई एम नॉट गिविंग इंटरव्यूज, आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. ओके. और सिनेमा में बोलता हूँ. मेरे सिनेमा दो चीजें हैं, आइदर तुमको अच्छा लगेगा बुरा लगेगा. अच्छा लगेगा तो somehow you'll connect. इसमें I would say that my stories are based on real life. So you say activism. I'm not interested to hear that word. Tell me whether you like the film or not. And why it comes, because if you see in the industry, I don't know if anybody else has done or not. I can say proudly that I had made 7 Hindi feature films, independent, sitting in Delhi. I sold my house, whatever I had earned. I have taken money from people to make films and I have distributed it. I have released them. Okay. So has anybody done that? Consistently I have been making environmental film. Has anybody done that? But those are great stories to tell. Today what you see, the show which is coming, it's a thriller. It is much more tight, hard-hitting thriller.
Please talk about it.
I will come to that.
Yeah.
My first thing as in filmmaker is number of people watching. Means कोई चीज तो फ्री में नहीं होता सिनेमा में, पैसे लगती है भैया। लोग देखेंगे तो पैसे कमाऊंगा तो आगे प्रोड्यूसर या फिनेंसर पैसे देंगे। अदरवाइज दैट एक्टिविज्म इज समथिंग, यस समटाइम फील लाइक गाली दे रहे हो यार, क्यों? मेरे सिनेमा बनाया हूं, तुमको अच्छा लगेगा या बुरा लगेगा, क्यों इसमें जा रहे हो? अब जेंगाबुरु की बात करते हैं। जेंगाबुरु मैंने 10 साल पहले कहानी लिखा था, 4 साल दिया। ओके,
क्यों लिखा था?
ये कहानी की सिंपल सी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी, रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इन द सेंस सिंपल सी स्टोरी थी जो मुझे डाइजेस्ट नहीं हुआ। ओके, लाइक आई से एवरीथिंग कम्स फ्रॉम द लाइफ यू लीव। मैं जहां से आया, जैसे गांव से पला बढ़ा, तो मुझे लगा हमारे नीड के हिसाब से सब कुछ है अबोव द लैंड। देन जैसे मैंने कहानी पे गया कि पहले फार्मर्स खेती किया, खेती से चावल बनाया, ये किया, फिर हम डिगिंग किए, डिगिंग करके कोयला निकाले, फिर हम आयरन ओर निकाले, उसे स्टील बनाए। ऐसे करते करते वी हैव कम टू अ स्टेज which is what again what we were talking about development is somewhere your greed becomes so big you don't realize that greed converts into curse,
Correct.
and that curse we are suffering today.
Aren't you
जब
scared? Because the topic you picked up, mining, it can either, it can either get you killed or it can,
well you know,
there are mining
for a
mafia. Yeah.
for a storyteller I don't give a shit about anything.
Okay.
I tell my story. Okay?
Okay.
अब कहानी बोलने में मेरे को तो कोई रोक नहीं सकता।
Correct.
मैं कहानी बोलना चाहता हूँ ग्रीड की, जो 21st सेंचुरी में हम जिस स्थिति पे पहुंच चुके हैं। आज देखो ना, इंडोनेशिया, रिसेंट न्यूज है, जकार्ता कैपिटल आप शिफ्ट कर रहे हो बिकॉज राइजिंग सी लेवल। किसकी इंपैक्ट है? जकार्ता से हम सीधा आते हैं क्यों केंद्रापड़ा में सातबाया गांव की जो कहानी मैंने बताया था कि मेरे आंखों के सामने 15 साल में बाकी 4 गांव डूब गए। सो मैं जब वो ग्रीड को कर्स में कन्वर्ट करके मैं बोलता हूं जेंगाबुरु कर्स कैन हैपन एनीवेयर ऑन अर्थ। सो जेंगाबुरु इज अ मेटाफोरिक वर्ड।
Okay.
So Jengaburu curse can be Mumbai curse, can be Bangkok curse, can be New York curse.
So let me get this straight. You're telling, to simplify it for our young audience, is that if mining continues in Odisha for that matter, then we might be in an apocalyptic situation.
No, see, there are two ways to see it. You cannot, I'm not against mining. You cannot stop mining because the moment you stop mining, your whole infrastructure growth, roads, home, everything is stopped. There's a, in fact, interesting way. In the recent time, if we see, mining has been regulated very well by Government of India. Okay, and every state is now very controlled mining. It's no more that kind of illegality of mine. When there was a time when everywhere in Goa, Karnataka, these, that, a lot of places, there are a lot of illegal mining which was happening. I think mining has to happen because mining is cash economy, mining is development. माइनिंग नहीं होगा तो रेलवे लाइन कैसे बनाओगे आप? सिंपल सी बात है, प्रेशर कुकर कहां से आएगा? आपकी साइकिल भी नहीं बन सकता। सो आई एम सेइंग इट्स मच अबव दैट। दिस इज नीड बेस्ड माइनिंग। आपको कोयला चाहिए ईंधन के लिए, आपको आयरन ओर चाहिए, आपको बॉक्साइट चाहिए, ठीक है? बॉक्साइट नहीं निकलेगा तो प्रेशर कुकर नहीं बनेगा। वेरी सिंपल फैक्टर। आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मच बिगर फैक्टर। सो माई स्टोरी इन जेंगाबुरु हैज दैट सीक्रेट, अ सिंपल सीक्रेट। If you go back and see your childhood, my childhood, anybody's world, there are legends and stories. So there are legends and stories, we think those are just legends. They are based on truth. So I have a simple legend I have established in the show. And that legend is taken away by a space tycoon sitting in London to sell something to North Korea. So a lot of people say it's scary what you're talking. I said it's a story I'm telling. If telling stories is problem, then I can't help it. I have to tell stories.
So another community आपने जो explore किया है in your series, the tribe. You know which tribe I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which is that tribe?
Yeah, but today's world,
Yeah.
taking real names is so tough. So I have created a fictional tribe called Bondria.
Yeah. Which
Okay.
is the Bond.
It's mixed. I have taken
Okay.
different cultures, but
Okay.
interestingly, what I always say that I'm very proud of it, by the way, because
Achha.
I have worked a lot with tribes.
Okay.
I belong to a state which has the largest number of tribes,
Yeah.
62 tribes,
Yes.
and how stupid we are that we never tell their stories,
Correct.
never shown them in right way. जैसे हमारे ट्राइब्स आते हैं हुला ला 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 हो जाए.
Exactly. In fact, Odia people, when we go outside and someone tells me, "Oh, you're from Odisha, that tribal place," why do we take it as an insult? Why do you take it as an insult? Take it as a matter of pride that
I'll
yes, I'm from a land of tribes, multiple tribes.
I'll
Right?
tell you a
Yeah.
simple. There was a beautiful dialogue in the series. That's my favorite
Okay.
dialogue.
Okay.
This is the guy said to the girl who comes from the tribal background, say like, आप ट्राइबल नहीं दिखते हो.
Haha.
So she said, हाँ
Yeah.
ट्राइबल्स कैसे दिखना चाहिए?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you almost feel that they're from another
Yes.
planet.
Yes.
I mean, and I spent a lot of time in different. I was in Bondo Hill about. I made a film in Bondo Hill in 2003 or 4. Okay. So I've been to all these tribes and I've spent time with them. It's not that I'm an activist and went and spent. I'm not saying, they're as good as us. And these, end of the day, the sustainability, what you see in Odisha, okay? Today in Odisha, the green coverage, the things you see, the beauty is still because we have somehow preserved their culture, their identity. And I think that's a very proud factor Odisha has. And which is what is I put something like that, and how that is been somehow disturbed in the present time.
Yeah. So when I was researching about the tribes and what you had explored, as you said, Bondrias, right? Uh, the parallel you have drawn between the real tribe, you must be aware of this, that they are one of the first tribes to leave Africa and come and settle down in Odisha, right? They are not exactly natives of Odisha, but they have, आज के date में, they talk in Odia, right? They were, what do you say? They pray to the god of rain, so the rain comes, right? And we are also, in the name of development, I feel, we're also changing their culture. That, so I feel very conflicted about it, right? For example, I'll tell you why I'm telling you. एक IAS officer था, and he was posted in a very remote location, in a desert location, and he asked people के इधर issue क्या है? मेरे को issue बताओ. So someone told him के women have to travel 20 kilometers to get water. So he said, that's it, I'm going to solve this problem. So उसने हर घर में एक tap लगा दिया. You know what happened? All the women broke all the taps. They were mad at him. They said, we don't need this tap. How dare you put this tap? Because every single day they walked 20 kilometers to get water. That was their moment of peace. That was the moment where they talked amongst each other. So, exactly, they felt alive and free. So, solution is not something that you assume is a solution, right? You have to talk to the people and understand के आपका एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या है. आप प्रॉब्लम को अज्यूम नहीं कर सकते. और मेरे को लगता है कि द वे वी डील विथ ट्राइबल पीपल is that we assume that this is their problem and we try to solve it on their behalf sometimes, and that could be detrimental, and I think you also explore that to a certain degree.
Very simple factor.
Yeah.
Let's come to a religious factor.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not very, so for me, my religion is what my family has given. बेटा सुबह उठना है, नहाना है, जाके मंदिर में थोड़ा सा पूजा करना है, गीता पढ़ना है और ये कर. That's our tradition and culture. Okay. One of the finer factor, आज भी मैं करता हूं. पानी एक लोटा पानी लेके रखते हैं. ओके. और एक पेड़ को देते हैं. You know what is the practice? It's very simple. That you still pray water, trees, and the sky. This is religious, but what is the literal factor is that this is water. Water is holy. Not only Ganges, even Mahanadi. You go pray, do everything with water because that gives you life. Okay. So my village story is, some 150 years back, we were in a deserted land and they found water. Everybody comes near water, okay? And that gives you what? Fruits, everything, the trees. Trees, why we pray? Simple factors. So if I am in the city also and giving water to the tree, means I'll connected with the trees that I'll never cut the tree. They're God. So all these factors, like if you know, there are a lot of temples which are at the hilltop. And where all, you go do a small research, why? It's not only tribals, normal land. Shiva temple, Lord Shiva temple generally on the hilltop. Wherever there is hilltop temple, you go and see there are perennial source of water which feeds to the river. Okay? What is the temple factors? Imagine 100, 200 years back, somebody built a temple. Okay? They say, Lord Shiva ki sar se pani aa rahi hai. So, science, religion, belief, these are all interconnected. All again coming back to the need factor, because we all need. You need wood for your furnitures, you need aluminium for your pressure cooker, so you can't stop. So, development is a process, but all I would say, there has to be planned scientific ways to develop. And the best part is, no government, if you see any policy, I work a lot with, I had worked earlier with Odisha government and central government. No government has policy to kill the earth. Government always have a good policy. It is about few greedy people who makes it wrong.
मेरे को पता है, you have been celebrated world over. Pan India level में people have celebrated you, but have you felt the same amount of celebration by your own people? Is what
ऐसा नहीं, I'll tell you why ऐसा नहीं है. अभी जैसे मेरा जेंगाबुरु आया, ठीक है? And there are a lot of people, kind of invoking, saying we are proud of you, proud Odia. Last 7 दिन में मैंने 1000, 1500 मैसेज पढ़ा हूँ. So that means they are celebrating at home.
Yes.
That means they are proud of it. So ऐसा हम नहीं कह सकते. किनको अभी बोलते हैं कि आगे क्या करना है, मैं बोला अभी करियर शुरू हुआ है, आगे क्या करना है बोला. I'm just starting my career.
How old
This
are
is
you?
beginning.
45-year old and you've done so much work and your career is just starting.
Yeah, because I still feel I haven't done much, I still wanted to do, I want to tell
National
stories.
award. You have been felicitated on most of the most credible platforms and still you say that you're not done anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about getting 4-5 national award or, get civilian honor in this country, but your work, what is it that you want to leave? You want to die with great cinemas. Those stories which are untold. And there's so many of them in my country, I want to tell those stories. And it's an endless journey. I'm very proud the kind of story I say, okay? Whether or not some films I'm majorly failed. There are 3-4 films I don't want to name also because I made.
You'll have to name them now.
Yeah, I had made bad films. I made a film called Bablu Happy Hai.
Bablu?
Bablu Happy Hai.
Bablu Happy Hai. Story क्या था?
It's about youth, young people.
That's right.
And by mistakes, the guy had a one-night stand without condom, okay? And later he realized that he felt that he had a one-night stand in a drunken haze, okay? And later, the story was fantastic actually. And then later he realized that that girl is HIV positive, okay? And that this whole guilt and trauma about, so it was basically youth who are so, there was one scene where there was whole contradiction about condoms, we still a debate, still a stigma going and buying condoms from the chemist, In terms of writing, it was too early to tell the story.
How old was this?
This was 2014.
2014.
10 years back, yeah.
Achha. Do you think because you didn't have a climate angle to it, it failed?
No, that's also climate. That's climax actually.
Okay. Climax. Nice. So, Jajabara, the word fascinates me a lot because Jajabara means a wanderer.
Yeah.
A vagabond.
Vagabond.
Right? A very romanticized version. We have such nice words in Odia. This is just one of the many examples. Why are we relying on Urdu words? Why are we relying? Not that there is anything wrong with that. It's just that our culture is lost in the process.
Yeah,
right?
you know, when you hear songs, you know,
Yeah.
स्मृति एक रूपा जन्म
Yes,
है ना,
yes, yes.
श्रावण रे श्रावण मेघवाणी बू.
Yes. Yes.
You know what beautiful poetry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in my gym
Yeah.
when I'm running, I hear Odia songs
Yeah.
and Sambalpuri songs.
Okay. Sambalpuri songs.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Sambalpuri song?
So I mean, still, I hear all the old songs. You know, Tel Potar Suru Suru, then Labongo Lota,
Achha.
all those Fakir Patnaik songs. I'm big admirer of all his songs.
Ekada ekada rare pilla.
That's recent. You know, it gives kick. You know, even
Yeah.
there's new guys are doing fantastic.
Mantu Churia is
Mantu
the new
Churia.
kid in the block.
He's superb.
He's superb.
Superb.
I think Sambalpuri as a culture is so underrepresented in Odia cinema. So when people say कि Odia cinema का audience नहीं है, have you explored Sambalpuri actors in Odia cinema? Have you done it? Honestly.
Sambalpuri, Barampuri, look at the tonality
So
you
many.
hear in Puri. Okay, how interesting when they break the sentence.
Yes.
I find it crazy. You know,
Yes.
and I get very influenced with speaking language. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm in Haryana, I immediately pick up Haryanvi. Okay, so when this is what happens with me. By the way,
Yeah.
when I go home, Dasrajpur, and somebody calls from Bombay, they can't understand what I'm speaking because I'm so influenced with my own Sambalpuri.
Yeah.
Half of the sentence I can't break through from Sambalpuri to Hindi.
Acha.
I become part of that land.
Acha.
So that has language influenced me a lot, and I feel sorry for the situation we are living in today, that we don't speak our own language
Correct.
or dialects.
Correct. That does not happen in Sambalpur. Have you noticed?
Yeah, no. So in Sambalpur, we
Yeah.
still
They're very proud. The Sundargadiyas,
Yeah.
Sambalpuriyas, they're very proud of talking in Sambalpur.
No, I think they find it difficult to translate in any other language
That's
because
right,
it's almost you are married to the language.
Correct.
And you can't come out of it.
Correct. And since we're talking about this, मैं आपको लिख के देता हूँ. If we have a story where there is a Odia boy and a Sambalpuri girl, or a Sambalpuri boy and a Odia girl, and you bring this cultural confluence together and you write a love story, लिख के देता हूँ, it'll work.
I wrote a love story
Yeah?
like that
Yeah?
in Flood long back.
Achha.
So I should make it someday.
I think time is right.
Yeah.
For it. I think मतलब time is ripe, right?
Absolutely.
Right? और
Yeah.
कुछ ज़्यादा crazy level production भी नहीं चाहिए. Just
Yeah.
get right apartment.
It's basic. You know, now
Yeah.
filmmaking is not that tough because technology has discovered so much. You just have to have a right story and tell it right way.
Correct. Hopefully we'll work on one of those projects.
Yes.
छोटा मुंह बड़ी बात से.
No, मुंह बड़ा होना बहुत जरूरी है अभी. कि that's what I said. You know, no छोटा मुंह भाई, अब बोलना पड़ेगा.
So I was doing a little bit of research. Also, my team told me you're from Sonpur. Now, one of the interesting things about Sonpur is Tantra Vidya udhar बहुत चलता है. You must be aware of it.
Yeah.
So have you ever had any experiences, or have you ever explored Tantra Vidya or Tantricism, as you put it? Because you're from there, I'm asking you. And this is an area of my curiosity. Yeah.
See, what I am today is actually that township gave me a lot.
Yeah. Identity.
It's a township of painters, creators, writers, and magicians, tantric vidya.
Tantric, yes.
Okay, every temple has interesting theory. Every temple has. So initially I used to get scared.
Okay.
Okay, इवनिंग 6 बजे के बाद मैं निकलता नहीं था जब गांव से आके शहर में पढ़ने लगा.
अच्छा.
But there's so much of talk, and that's the township. Even today, when you go, no,
Okay.
this township has something, you know, which will, and it's what do you call, the right way is it sucks you in.
Sucks you in. Why? Why do you say that?
It can never leave you.
Okay.
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 So in graduation, I used to learn painting. There's a college clerk called Sabat Babu.
Sabat Babu.
Okay.
Okay.
So by the time he was, everybody used to call him Pagal, mad, ye ho.
Okay.
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 And he had leprosy by then.
अच्छा.
So उसकी family उसको अलग कर दिए थे. So I used to go, give samosas, jalebi and everything and learn painting from him.
अच्छा.
He said one beautiful thing one day. He said, you have no idea. So I said, he asked me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to leave, dee da, dee da. He said, you know what? this town will never leave you. And if you stay here, then only you can grow. And Chutti Revi, I never gone to the village because that has got so much to, you go sit in the temples. You know, the two rivers come and meet, Tel Nadi and Mahanadi. Okay, Lord Shiva temple is there. Okay, so I think, and every character from Panwala to bus driver to fruit seller, everybody has stories to tell you.
Achha.
Especially Dasera time,
That's
it's magical.
Achha.
Yeah, where the Devta comes in Ma Sureswari Mandir.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Devta comes.
Devta, you know, the Devta comes in him, you know, our time he used to drink blood, okay?
My God.
But Dasara time when you go, one place you should go, I went once, scary it was that time, called Sulia Jatra.
Sulia Jatra.
It's close to Sonpur.
Okay.
There's a small village called Sulia.
Okay.
In Sulia, there were a lot of sacrifice used to happen.
Achha.
Different birds, animals, dado, and all the Devtas would dance on that.
Okay.
And this was such strong, and Sonpur itself is a very strong believers. The people are also very religious.
Yeah.
You know, when you go itself, it will sound like Mandir Ka Ghanta, the whole township will hear Mandir. You know, the 100 temple in a tiny, small township.
Yeah. It is considered the second Varanasi.
Yeah. You see the temple inside the river,
Yeah.
Ma Lankeshwari temple. Have you seen that? It's middle of the river.
I've seen it, and photos I have not seen it.
It's in the middle of the river.
But what do you mean by devtas will dance? That's
So,
a very interesting thing.
you get, they get, you know, Devta comes in their life
Okay.
and they dance
Okay.
and they drink blood.
Acha. So
Yeah.
this sounds like that movie. Recently, it
The Kannada movie.
Kantara.
Yeah.
It's on the
No,
Deva.
yeah. It is.
It is like that.
So, especially Dasera time, you should go to explore that township because Dasera time is when all the, what we believe that all the astrology, all the devtas, everybody comes live. Mata, everybody comes live.
Wow. This is. I have to go and experience this in person.
Do it in October.
Yes. If you are coming down, will you?
Absolutely. No, I would love to. I want to. It's been years since I've visited
Have
in
you
October.
ever? Why don't you document this? It will be great. As a concept. This is
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to do because I wanted to talk about all those temples at least, you know.
Okay. It's great. Wow. Anyway, so this is the last segment of our podcast, Madhu Babu. There are a few questions that young people wanted to ask you. I put it out on my Insta, and these are a few of the questions that they're curious about. Now, from your struggle, so the name of our show is Maverick Mindset, right? So we'll try to brain pick you. What makes you a maverick, right? 3 things that you would want to let the young people of Odisha and India know that these are the 3 things that you used to be successful and has helped you through your struggle. 3 life lessons, 3 learnings, if you could give to our young viewers, what would they be?
I think one of my biggest success is never leaving the root.
Root.
Yeah, feeling the belongingness where you are from. Be it family, be it your township, village,
Okay.
people.
Okay.
Okay? When you own that, you have got strength. And it is also about religion, temple, everything. Like Jagannath, Sri Jagannath is the soul of your life. Okay? So that is root.
Root.
Second, anything one want to do in life has to have love in it, that you are convinced to do it.
Okay.
Never do anything where you don't love it, because
Okay.
the growth is only when you love it.
Correct.
Whether business, cinema, politics, anything,
Yeah.
that you love it so much that you can give your life.
Correct.
People wonder at times that, said you know, in a tiny film also, tiny documentary, anything, it comes in my name, that I have to do it, I give my life for that. So, belongingness, love, and third is you can never stop. Failure, money है, नहीं है, लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, which is perseverance. That you cannot stop. You have to continue doing it.
Correct.
Nothing can stop you. Whether you are very successful also, because you can be failed anytime, or you failed also,
Correct.
or you criticized also.
Okay.
Probably I've been the person
Yeah.
where I had the most criticism.
Correct.
It has put me down sometime. I have cried also. Then I realized, whom am I crying for? They're nobody.
Correct.
Of course, today you have the whole world in your hand.
Yeah.
Google भगवान है, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो, तो then nothing can stop
AI
you.
है, AI है.
AI भगवान आ गए.
This is the next leap into the future. Would you ever want to adapt one of the Shakespearean novels?
I love all those, I love Shakespearean books, So,
In Odisha's context, Odisha के background में अगर हम एक global story को बोलेंगे, कैसे बोलेंगे? That's why I like Tumbad. Tumbad uses the Maharashtrian landscape so beautifully to tell a folk story which is global.
You know what if you ask me what I want to do, I wanted to adapt Shakespearean story to use Gita Govinda.
Oh, acha.
Okay?
Acha.
Because I think what poet Jaidev has written as Gita Govinda, no one has explored. Gita Govinda is outstanding.
Yeah.
I told someone, it could be controversial, but I almost felt like Gita Govinda's love, tragedy, romance is taken by Shakespeare.
You are right. I mean,
Okay.
why not possible?
So
Why isn't
it was written long back. We don't praise Gita Govinda, we talk about Shakespeare.
Correct.
So it is so beautiful thing. If you see the phrases of the poetry of Gita Govinda, it's incredible. We only use in Odissi dance.
Yeah.
We never been able to put out cinema. I mean, that's something, of course, I've been studying also. I've been working.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. But yeah, so 3 recommendations to the point.
Yeah.
What are the 3 recommendations, sir? Movies. Go ahead.
Movies, Apur Sansar,
Okay. Apushan sir.
Children of Heaven,
Children of Heaven.
and Dunkirk.
Okay. Oh, Dunkirk. Okay. All right. Another question which was very curious is what's your take on Akshay Mahanti?
Wow, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I think he's the biggest celebration of our culture, society, and everything.
Okay.
There's nobody can beat. I think he made us alive through his songs,
Correct.
and he's making us alive every day today.
Correct.
His songs can never die.
Correct.
I think, and kind of words, kind of world he has created in music, they're all evergreen.
Yes. 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 You're correct. Do you think he got the credit that he deserved?
Well, I believe artist never looks at credit. True artist never look. His credit is, I'm talking here today, you're talking here today. He is living here.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Correct.
So if you don't give me award or anything, it doesn't matter. If you're talking about my film, then I won.
Yeah. Because one of the stories about him that really pained me from an individual perspective is that he had written a song, he had performed it in Odisha, then that song was so celebrated that he got a call from Kolkata कि आप इधर आइए उस song को perform कीजिए. So he went there and he performed it. And someone maybe made a Bengali rendition of it, right? So when he came back to Odisha, people called him a copycat. Odia people called him a copycat for a song that he originally sang in Odia.
Yeah, that's the problem. To see this, he is alive with us. We all use his song. We all sing his song.
Yeah.
And still, we're still talking. Did he get his credit or not? Because that's what we are. Why we did not give? There should be so many institutions about Akshay Mahanti.
Correct. I feel the same way about Manoj Das. Manoj Das, I think it was Rudyard Kipling who on record has gone and said, I need to fact check it, but if I recall correctly, Rudyard Kipling ने लिखा है, on record जाके बोला है कि मेरे shelf में आप मनोज दास का किताब पाएंगे right next to Narayan's. Right? Because Manoj Das showed what Indian villages, the quintessential Indian villages, he has depicted it just as good as, Malgudi Days has.
Very true, very true.
So I feel again, such a beautiful writer. He did not, I mean, he has been celebrated, but not to the degree that you would want. Because I still ask kids, Odia kids today, that have you heard of Manoj Das? They have no idea. But have you heard of Malgudi Days? They have. Right? How do you not know about Manoj Das? How do you not know about, Twilight, the Tiger at the Twilight?
No, that we lack certainly,
Yeah.
to celebrate, to talk about our own people.
Yeah. That's where you come in, sir. You need to take stories of Manoj Das and you need to popularize them.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to come into the mainstream. They have to come into the mainstream.
That's true.
Right. On that note, sir, I think I'll call it a day. And you have been extremely accommodating. You took your time. So, Madhav Babu, I just want to formally thank you. And no matter how much I thank is not enough, but you've been extremely accommodating. It did not feel like I was talking to someone who is like a celebrated, filmmaker. It felt like I'm talking to a friend. As a young guy, that is the biggest gift someone from your generation can give me. To take the time to understand my generation, to take the time to teach us a few things, right? Because we are trying to make sense of a world that we don't understand, right? So it really helps when someone with your experience and caliber, a maverick, right, giving his mindset to us. So thank you for being part of this. I hope that we have another one of this
Very
at
happy,
some
very
point
happy.
of time. And I hope this was not a typical interview.
No, because I generally I get
Yeah.
bored with interviews.
Yeah.
But with you, knowing you, I was looking forward to it, and I'm very happy, that we
Yeah.
spoke everything. And I don't think when you give an interview, you speak soulfully. There is any controversy or anything like that. I speak out, like you speak to our friends. How does it
Correct.
matter? We are artists. We speak.
Correct.
And very happy, I mean, it's one of the beautiful conversations I had ever, I would say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, as a parting, because the channel is there, if you could just look into the camera and say, okay, please subscribe to Samar's YouTube channel, because there is no budget for this show. And if you watch it, we'll make more of it. And this is for them, right? We are trying to create this content. So, co-camera, okay. So, sir, please subscribe to Samar channel.
Hi, this is Nila Madhab Panda. Please subscribe to Samar's YouTube channel, and it's fun, it's inspiring, it's also there are a lot of things you can hear. More than anything else, you can have fun watching things here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Great.